Yes, G. Almario Gonzalez from ABS-CBN. I'd like first to echo what Ellen Tortisi just said, yung fake news term. I think it's not the right term because news means accuracy. So probably the right term should be misinformation. Because professional journalists and professional news organizations are, our job is to produce news. And that is to be accurate. But of course, it doesn't mean that we don't make mistakes. That's why when we make mistakes, we have this self-regulatory mechanisms that we go to. So for ABS-CBN, for the broadcast, and we have our network ombudsman and also our news ethics unit. So if we make mistakes, people, like Mr. Alampay said, we welcome criticisms.
I know you have ombudsman,
yes.
In TV5 and also
yes.
in ABS. But Ms. Uson, you were saying na fake news ka ng ABS?
Yes po, Madam Chair.
Anong ginawa sa'yo?
Nung private, hindi pa po ako opisyal, sinabi po ng ABS-CBN, isa sa mga reporter nila na ako daw po ay in-appoint na consultant ng Bureau of Customs. At dahil po doon, nabash po ako online, inungkat na yung pagkatao ko, at yun po, Madam, BOC consultant.
Pero nabigyan ka ng pagkakataon naman mag-answer?
Hindi din po, Ma'am. Hindi din, Ma'am Chair.
Ma'am, are you familiar with this?
I'm not personally familiar with it, but kanina nagtanong ako. And I think first, this is what I want to say about fake news. Kasi for traditional media, those who are aggrieved, they can avail of the mechanisms that we have. Now, I'm not saying, I can't really say kung in the interview si Ms. Mocha Uson kasi I haven't talked to the reporter, but what could have been done is easily complain or call us, actually even by call or by email, and we would launch an investigation on that. And if we make a mistake, we will always correct it through however format that we do, that we have. And I think particularly for this lang, do sa initial questioning ko, ma'am, I think the reporter quoted Commissioner Faldon. He was the one who said that was going to be appointed. And then, yes, it was wrong. And then I think you gave a statement in your Facebook account, and we published that it was a wrong information, and we corrected it with that statement. So that's how we handled that situation.
All right. It's good to know that you correct yourselves.
Yes.
Diba? And though you don't leave it at that. MTRCB first, and then Senator Pangilinan na. Pasensya na po para nakikiramay din pala kami sa inyo, Chair.
Thank you po, Madam Chair. And good morning to all the members of the committee and where I am, former colleagues in government. Well, looking at the, most especially, Senate Bill 1492, I think, Madam Chair, my recommendation there would be to integrate really a system of self-regulation, where there would be empowerment measures given to those who are engaged, both engaged in the handling and dissemination of information. As a law professor, I agree with Senator Drilon, what you mentioned. We already have definitions as to what false information is. I believe that it is not healthy or that productive to find a definition of fake news, but what to do with information. That would be what you call in criminal law as the gravamen of the offense. And with this, my recommendation is for the bill to include not only include malicious distribution itself, because another aspect is that do we have one who has a blog, one who has any outlet via social media, do they have any vetting system? Receive information. For instance, you make a conclusion, you make a judgment with respect to the actuations of a government official, or let us say the life of a person, then sometimes there's a degree of competence who are your sources? If you were say this person is sick of a certain disease, did you consult the New England a Journal of Medicine, for instance? Because everybody has the right as well as duty to honor and bear witness to the truth. Kung ang basic po dito ay how to handle the truth. So I agree, Madam Chair, that there should be a vetting system, and then as a matter of addressing any question as to equal protection of the laws, the norms for journalists should equally apply to those who handle, circulate information, whether, because after all, those in social media, they call themselves media. I have other things to say, but I would just follow the norm indicated by the Madam Chairperson to just speak on the matter of self-regulation and having a vetting system at this time.
And thank you for being a proponent of self-regulation.
Yes.
It is very important, but as you said, we should correct ourselves, but there should be a vetting before we post information on our blogs. Okay, so thank you, Chair Toto. I would like now to continue before we ask Professor Hilvay and also Dean Lavinia, and then Mr. Mabanta and Mr. Nieto will have Senator Pangilinan.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. I think Dean Tony and Prof. Lorin might be able to answer some of the questions that I'll be raising on, in terms of legal expertise on the matter of laws that we are possibly going to craft on addressing these matters. The data that we have is that 97% of Filipinos on the net are actually on Facebook. And only 3% are not on Facebook. So that's number one. Number two, the data that we also have is that Facebook is the biggest carrier of fake news. And they earn from it. Because of the shares, the number of... So I just wanted that clarified. I guess, Tony, please answer so that we place it on record.
Yes, and in fact, when I'm asked later on, that's where the regulation should be, and believe that's what's happening. You do not go after the blogger, you do not go after the traditional news outlets. You already have ways of going after them, but it's the disseminators that are earning a lot of money here and not really caring about whether it's true or not and gets hurt or not. It's just a business position for them. The global tendency is actually to do that. Some harder than others. In China, very hard. Germany, movement towards very strong financial measures, sanctions for those things.
Yeah, that could you share the German experience?
Well, they haven't passed the laws yet because they just had the elections, but the proposal actually is where there's criminal content, Facebook, Twitter, they have to remove it within 24 hours. For not criminal content, but fake news, and that can be, they have to do it in like 2 or 3 days, right?
Okay.
So
how is that not violative of the right to free speech and expression?
I don't think that's violative of the right, the free speech, because you're not, the person who's speaking can still speak. But what you're speaking is the means of propagating it. In traditional media, the way they also do that, right? They also stop fake news through verification
And editorial,
they do that all the time when they hear news and they verify and they say it's wrong, it's not, this news is not right, then they would right away not do that already. So they actually do that already in practice. But Facebook, in the past, we don't care about content. We're not a news organization. We're not, and they're not. And that's also true, I think. But even if you're not a news organization, you can actually regulate them to get that to happen. But you have to make it in terms that they understood, that they understand, and the term is actually the way is actually through sanctions, economic.
For example,
sanctions.
you mentioned it earlier, nabanggit mo po kanina, na kapag merong criminal content, no?
Like criminal libel or
criminal
sex abuse
Yes.
or that type of thing.
See, Zuckerberg is probably one of the wealthiest people in the world, no? I mean, di ba? Richest Zuckerberg. In other words, he's, you know, they're earning a lot from Facebook and ads. At marami rin silang kinikita kahit fake news pa, no? So, halimbawa, may criminal content. Congress can therefore come up with a law saying within 24 hours of that criminal content upload